Chapter 1. Author note. Special fangs. Get it? Cause I'm gothic. To my GF. Ew, not in that way. Raven, Bloody Tears 666 for helping me with the story and spelling. You rock. Justin, you're the love of my depressing life. You rock too. MCR rocks! What is this fanfiction about? It's like a Harry Potter fanfiction. Just a content warning, sometimes it talks about like self-harm and stuff like that, but it has about the tact and taste of Glee. Hi, my name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way, and I have long ebony black hair. That's how I got my name. With purple streaks and red tips that reaches my mid-back and icy blue eyes, like limpid tears. And a lot of people tell me I look like Amy Lee. Author's note, if you don't know who she is, get the hell out of here. I'm not related to Gerard Way, but I wish I was because he's a major fucking hottie. I'm a vampire, but my teeth are straight and white. I have pale white skin. I'm also a witch, and I go to a magical school called Hogwarts in England, where I'm in the 7th year. I'm 17. I'm a goth, in case you couldn't tell. And I wear mostly black. I love Hot Topic, and I buy all my clothes from there. For example, today I was wearing a black corset with matching lace around it, and a black leather miniskirt, pink fishnets, and black combat boots. I was wearing black lipstick, white foundation, black eyeliner, and red eyeshadow. I was walking outside Hogwarts. It was snowing and raining, so there was no sun, which I was very happy about. A lot of preps stared at me. I put up my middle finger at them. "Hi, Ebony," shouted a voice. I looked up. It was Draco Malfoy. "What's up, Draco?" I asked. "Nothing," he said shyly. But then I heard my friends call my name and I had to go away. Author's note. Is it good? Please tell me. Fangs. Fangs. Chapter 2. Author's note. Thanks to Bloody Tears 666 for helping me with this chapter. BTW, prep, stop flaming my story, okay? The next day I woke up in my bedroom. It was snowing and raining again. I opened the door of my coffin and drank some blood from a bottle I had. My coffin was black ebony, and inside it was hot pink velvet with black lace on the ends. I got out of my coffin and took off my giant MCR t-shirt, which I used from pajamas. Instead, I put on a black leather dress, a pentagram necklace, combat boots, and black fishnets on. I put on 4 pairs of earrings and my pierced ears, and put my hair in kind of a messy bun. My friend Willow, author's note, Raven, this you, woke up then and grinned at me. She flipped her long, waist-length, raven black hair with pink streaks and opened her forest green eyes. She put on her Marilyn Manson t-shirt with a black mini, fishnets, and pointy high-heeled boots. We put on our makeup, black lipstick with white foundation and eyeliner. Black eyeliner. OMG, I saw you talking to Draco Malfoy yesterday, she said excitedly. Yeah, so? I said blushing. Do you like Draco? She asked as we went out of the Slytherin common room and into the Great Hall. No, I so fucking don't, I shouted. Yeah, right, she exclaimed. Just then, Draco walked up to me. Hi, he said. Hi, I replied flirtily. Guess what, he said. What? I asked. Well, Good Charlotte are having a concert in Hogsmeade, he told me. Oh my fucking god. I screamed. I love GC. They're my favorite band, besides MCR. Well, do you want to go with me? He asked. I gasped. Author's note. Stop flamin' the story, preps, okay? Otherwise, thanks for the gothic people for the good reviews. Thanks again, Raven. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't own this or the lyrics for Good Charlotte. Sorry, Good Charlotte. On the night of the concert, I put on my black lace boots with high heels. Underneath them were ripped red fishnets. Then I put on a black leather mini dress with all this corset stuff on the back and front. I put on my matching fishnet on my arms. I straightened my hair and made it look all spiky. I felt a little depressed then, so I slit one of my wrists. I read a depressing book while I waited for it to stop bleeding, and I listened to some Good Charlotte. I painted my nails black and put on tons of black eyeliner. Then I put on some black lipstick. I didn't put on foundation because I was pale anyways. I drank some human blood, so I was ready to go to the concert. I went outside. Draco was waiting there in front of his flying car. He was wearing a Simple Plan t-shirt. They would play at the show too. Baggy black skater pants, black nail polish, and a little eyeliner. Author's note. A lot of cool boys wear it, okay? Hi, Draco, I said in a depressed voice. Hi, Ebony, he said back. We walked into his flying black Mercedes-Benz. The license plate says 666. And flew to the place with the concert. On the way, we listened excitedly to Good Charlotte and Marilyn Manson. We both smoked cigarettes and drugs. When we got there, we hopped out of the car. We went to the mosh pit at the front of the stage and jumped up and down as we listened to Good Charlotte. You come in cold, you're covered in blood, there's also happy you've arrived. The doctor cuts your cord, hands you to your mom, she sets you free into this life, sang Joel. I don't own the lyrics to that song. Joel's so fucking hot, I said to Draco, pointing to him as he sung, filling the club with his amazing voice. Suddenly Draco looked sad. What's wrong? I asked as we moshed to the music. Have you ever tried to talk in a mosh pit? Then I caught on. Hey, it's okay. I don't like him better than you, I said. Really? Asked Draco sensitively, and he put his arm around me all protective. Really, I said. Besides, I don't even know Joel, and he's going out with Hillary fucking Duff. I fucking hate that little bitch, I said disgustedly, thinking of her ugly blonde face. The night went on really well, and I had a great time. So did Draco. After the concert, we drank some beer and asked Benji and Joel for their autographs and photos with them. We got GC concert tees. Draco and I crawled back into the Mercedes-Benz, but Draco didn't go back to Hogwarts. Instead, he drove his car into the Forbidden Forest! Chapter 4. Author's note. I said stop flaming, okay? Ebony's name is Ennaby, not Mary, so okay. Draco is so in love with her that he is acting different. They knew each other before, okay? I'm trying to read this as close as I can to how it's written. Draco, I shouted. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Draco didn't answer, but he stopped the flying car and he walked out of it. I walked out of it too, curiously. What the fucking hell? I asked angrily. Ebony? He asked. What? I snapped. Draco leaned in extra close, and I looked into his red gothic eyes. He was wearing color contacts, which revealed so much depressing sorrow and evilness that I suddenly didn't feel mad anymore. And then, suddenly, just as Draco kissed me passionately. Draco climbed on top of me, and we started to make out keenly against a tree. He took off my top, and I took off his clothes. I even took off my bra. And then he put his thingy into my you-know-what, and we did it for the first time. Oh, I screamed. I was beginning to get an orgasm. We started to kiss everywhere, and my pale body became all warm. And then... What the hell are you doing, you motherfuckers? It was Dumbledore. Chapter 5. Author's note. Stop flaming! If you flame, it means you're a prep or a poser. The only reason Dumbledore swore is because he had a headache, okay? And on top of that, he was mad at Dem for having sex. P.S. I'm not updating until I get 5 good reviews. Dumbledore made Draco and I follow him. He kept shouting at us angrily. You ludicrous fools! He shouted. I started to cry, tears of blood down my pallid face. Draco comforted me. When we went back to the castle, Dumbledore took us to Professor Snape and Professor McGonagall, who were both looking very angry. They were having sexual intercourse in the Forbidden Forest, he yelled in a furious voice. But why did you do such a thing, you mediocre dunces? Asked Professor McGonagall. How dare you? Demanded Professor Snape. And then Draco shrieked, Because I love her! Everyone was quiet. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall still looked mad, but Professor Snape said, Fine, very well. You may go up to your rooms. Draco and I went upstairs while the teachers glared at us. Are you okay, Ebony? Draco asked me gently. Yeah, I guess, I lied. I went to the girls' dorm and brushed my teeth and my hair and changed into a low-cut black, floor-length dress with red lace all around it and black high heels. When I came out, Draco was standing there in front of the bathroom, and he started to sing I Just Want to Live by Good Charlotte. I was so flattered, even though he wasn't supposed to be there. We hugged and kissed. After that, we said goodnight, and he reluctantly went back into his room. Chapter 6. Author's note. Shut up, preps, okay? P.S. I won't update, spelled W-N-O-T, update, up till you give me good revows. The next day I woke up in my coffin. I put on a black miniskirt that was all ripped around the end, and a matching top with red skulls all over it, and high-heeled boots that were black. I put on 2 pairs of skull earrings and 2 crosses in my ears. I spray painted my hair with purple. In the Great Hall, I ate some Count Chocula cereal with blood instead of milk, and a glass of red blood. Suddenly, someone bumped into me. All the blood spilled over my top. Bastard! I shouted angrily. I regretted saying it when I looked up, because I was looking into the pale, white face of a gothic boy with spiky black hair and red streaks in it. He was wearing so much eyeliner that I was going down his face. And he was wearing black lipstick. He didn't have glasses anymore, and now he was wearing red contact lenses, just like Draco's. And there was no scar on his forehead anymore. He had a manly stubble on his chin. He had a sexy English accent. He looked exactly like Joel Madden. He was so sexy that my body went all hot when I saw him. Kind of like an erection, only I'm a girl. So I didn't get one, you sicko. I'm so sorry, he said in a shy voice. That's alright. What's your name? I questioned. My name's Harry Potter, although most people call me Vampire these days, he grumbled. Why? I exclaimed. Because I love the taste of human blood. He giggled. Well, I am a vampire, I confessed. Really? He whimpered. Yeah, I roared. We sat down to talk for a while. Then Draco came up behind me and told me he had a surprise for me, so I went away with him. Chapter 7. Author's note. Well, okay, you guys, I'm only writing this because I got 5 God reviews. And by the way, BTW, I won't write the next chapter until I get 10 God Vons. Stop flaming or I'll report you. Ebony isn't a Mary Sue, okay? She isn't perfect. She's a Satanist. And she has problems. She's depressed for God's sake. Draco and I held our pale white hands with black nail polish as we went upstairs. I was wearing red Satanist sings on my nails and red nail polish. Author's note. See, does that sound like a Mary Sue to you? Does that sound like a Maru Sue to you? I waved to Vampire. Dark misery was in his depressed eyes. I guess he was jealous of me that I was going out with Draco. Anyway, I went upstairs excitedly with Draco. We went into his room and locked the door. Then we started Frenching passively, and we took off each other's clothes enthusiastically. He felt me up before I took off of my top. Then I took off my black leather bra and he took off his pants. We went on the bed and started making out naked. And then he put his boy's thingy in mine and we had sex. See, is that stupid? Maybe they're like docking or something like that. Oh, Draco! Draco! I screamed while getting an orgasm when all of a sudden I saw a tattoo I had never seen before on Draco's arm. It was a black heart with an arrow through it. On it in bloody gothic writing were the words, Vampire. I was so angry. You bastard! I shouted angrily, jumping out of the bed. No, but you don't understand, Draco pleaded. But I knew too much. No, you fucking idiot, I shouted. You probably have AIDS anyway. Ooh! It's never okay to shame someone for their HIV status. Let it be known. That will never be acceptable here. I put on my clothes all huffily and then stomped out. Draco ran out, even though he was naked. He had a really big you-know-what, but I was too mad to care. I stomped out and did so until I was in Vampire's classroom, where he was having a lesson with Professor Snape and some other people. Vampire Potter, you motherfucker, I yelled. Chapter 8. Author's note. Stop flassing, okay? If you do, then you're a prep. Everyone in the class stared at me, and then Draco came into the room, even though he was naked, and started begging me to take him back. Ebony, it's not what you think, Draco screamed sadly. My friend, Bloody. That's B apostrophe Luddy. Mary Smith smiled at me understatedly. She flipped her long, waist-length gothic black hair and opened her crimson eyes like blood that she was wearing contact lenses on. She had pale white skin that she was wearing white makeup on. Hermione was kidnapped when she was born. Her real parents are vampires, and one of them is a witch, but Voldemort killed her mother, and her father committed suicide because he was depressed about it. She still has nightmares about it, and she is very haunted and depressed. It also turns out her real last name is Smith, and not Granger, since she has converted to Satanism, so she is in Slytherin now, not Gryffindor. What is it that you desire, you ridiculous dimwit? Snape demeaned angrily in his cold voice, but I ignored him. Vampire, I can't believe you cheated on me with Draco, I shouted at him. Everyone gasped. This is Draco speaking. I don't know why Ebony was so mad at me. I had went out with Vampire, I'm bi and so is Ebony, for a while, but then he broke my heart. He dumped me because he liked Brittany, a stupid preppy fucker. We were just good friends now. He had gone through horrible problems, and now he was gothic. Haha, like I would hang out with a prep. But I'm not going out with Draco anymore. Yeah, fucking right. Fuck off, you bastard, I screamed. I ran out of the room and into the Forbidden Forest, where I had lost my virility to Draco, and then I started to bust into tears. Chapter 9. Author's Note. Stop flaming, okay? I didn't read all the books. This is from the movie, okay? So it's not my fault if Dumbledore swears. Besides, I said he had a headache. And the reason Snap doesn't like Harry now is because he's Christian and a vampire is a Satanist. MCR rocks. I was so mad and sad. I couldn't believe Draco for cheating on me. I began to cry against the tree, where I did it with Draco. Then all of a suddenly, a horrible man with red eyes and no nose and everything started flying towards me on a broomstick. He didn't have a nose, basically like Voldemort in the movie, and he was swearing all black, but it was obvious he wasn't gothic. It was Voldemort! No! I shouted in a scared voice, but then Voldemort shouted, Imperious! And I couldn't run away. Crookshanks! I shouted at him. Voldemort fell off his broom and started to scream. I felt bad for him, even though I'm a sadist. So I stopped. Enemy! He yelled. Thou must kill Harry Vampire Potter! I thought about Vampire and his sexa eyes, and his gothic black hair, and how his face looks just like Joel Madden. I remembered that Draco had said I didn't understand, so I thought, what if Draco went out with Vampire before I went out with him, and they broke up? No, Voldemort, I shouted back. Voldemort gave me a gun. No, please, I begged. Thou must, he yelled. If thou does not, then I shall kill thy beloved Draco. How did you know? I asked in a surprised way. Voldemort got a dude, you're so Ursula look on his face. Telekinesis, he answered cruelly. If you doth not kill Vampire, then thou know what will happen to Draco, he shouted. Then he flew away angrily on his broomstick. I was so scared and mad, I didn't know what to do. Suddenly Draco come into the words. Draco, I said. Hi. Hi, he said back, but his face was all sad. He was wearing white foundation and messy eyeliner, kind of like a pentagram, get it? Between Joel Madden and Gerard Way, as opposed to a cross between Joel Madden and Gerard Way. Are you okay? I asked. No, he answered. I'm sorry I got all mad at you, but I thought you cheated on me, I expelled. That's okay, he said, all depressed, and we went back into Hogwarts together making out. I was really scared about Voldemort all day. I was even upset, went to rehearsals with my gothic metal band, Bloody Gothic Rose 666. I'm the lead singer of it, and I play guitar. People say that we sound like a cross between GC, which is Good Charlotte, Slipknot, and MCR. The other people in the band are Bloody Mary, Vampire, Draco, Ron, although we call him Diablo now. He has black hair now with blue streaks in it. And Hagrid. Only today, Draco and Vampire were depressed, so they weren't coming and we wrote songs instead. I knew Draco was probably hurting himself. He wouldn't die because he was a vampire too, and the only way you can kill a vampire is with a C-R-O-S-S. There's no way I'm writing that. Or a steak. That's spelled like the meat cut. And Vampire is probably watching a depressing movie like The Corpse Bride. I put on a black leather skirt that showed off my boobs, shirt that showed off my boobs, and tiny matching miniskirt that said Simple Plan on the butt. You might think I'm a slut, but I'm really not. We were singing a cover of Helena, and at the end of the song, I suddenly burst into tears. Ebony, are you okay? Bull Uddy Mary asked in a concerted voice. What the fuck do you think? I asked angrily, and then I said, well, Voldemort came and the fucking bastard told me to fucking kill Harry. But I don't want to kill him because he's really nice, even if he did go out with Draco. But if I don't kill Harry, then Voldemort will fucking kill Draco. I burst into tears. Suddenly Draco jumped out from behind a wall. Why didn't you fucking tell me? He shouted. How could you fucking poser muggle bitch? See, is that out of character? I started to cry and cry. Draco started to cry too, all sensitive. Then he ran out crying. We practiced for 1 more hour. Then suddenly, Dumbledore walked in angrily. His eyes were all fiery, and I knew this time it wasn't because he had a headache. What have you done? He started to cry wisely. See, that's because not swearing, and this time he was really upset, and you will see why. Ebony, Draco has been found in his room. He killed himself by slitting his wrists. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness! What is going on? I thought Draco was not a vampire. Uh-oh. Chapter 11. Author's note. I said stop flaming me up, preps. See, if this chapter is srupid, 11111, it deals with really serious issues. See for yourself if it's stupid, frangs for my friend Raven for schlepping me. No! I screamed. I was horrified. Bull Uddy Mary tried to comfort me, but I told her to fuck off and I ran to my room crying myself. Dumbledore chased after me shouting, but he had to stop when I went into my room because he would look like a perv that way. Anyway, I started crying tears of blood, and then I hurt both my wrists. They got all over my clothes, so I took them off and jumped into the bath angrily while I put on a Linkin Park song at full volume. I grabbed a steak, spelled like the food, and almost stuck it into my heart to commit suicide. I was so fucking depressed. I got out of the bathtub and put on a black low-cut dress with lace all over it, sandly. I put on black high heels with pink metal stuff on the ends and 6 pairs of skull earrings. I couldn't fucking believe it. Then I looked out the window and screamed. Snap was spying on me, and he was taking a videotape of me. And Lupin was masticating to it. They were sitting on their broomsticks. Ew, you fucking pervs, stop looking at me naked. Are you pedos or what? I screamed, putting on a black towel with a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. Suddenly, Vampire ran in. Abracadabra! He yelled at Snape and Lupin, pointing his womb. I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times, and they both started screaming and the camera broke. Suddenly, Dumbledore ran in. Ebony, it has been revealed that someone has... No! He shouted, looking at Snape and Lupin, and then he waved his wand, and suddenly, Hagrid ran outside on his broom and said, everyone, we need to talk. What do you know, Hagrid? You're just a little Hogwarts student. I may be a Hogwarts student, Hagrid paused angrily, but I'm also a Satanist. This cannot be, Snap said in a crisp voice as blood dripped from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. Not the wand. There must be other factors. You don't have any! I yelled in madly. Lupin held up the camera triumphantly. The lens may be ruined, but the tape is still there. I felt faint. More than I normally do, like how it feels when you do not drink enough blood. Why are you doing this? Lupin said angrily while he rubbed his dirty hands on his cloak. And then I heard the words that I had heard before but not from him. I did not know whether to feel shocked and happy or to bite him and drink his blood because I felt faint. Because, Hagrid said, and he paused in the air dramatically, waving his wand in the air. Then swooped he in, singing to the tune of a gothic version of a song by 50 Cent. Because you're gothic? Snap asked in a little afraid voice, because he was afraid it meant he was connected with Satan. Because I love her. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Chapter 12. Author's note. Stop okay? Hagrid is a pedo too. A lot of people in American schools are like that. I wanted to address the issue. How do you know Snap and Christian? Plus, Hagrid isn't really in love with Ebony. That was Cedric, okay? I was about to hurt my wrists again with the silver knife that Drago had given me in case anything happened to him. He had told me to use it valiantly against an enemy, but I knew that we must go together. No! I thought it was hair grid, but it was vampire. He started to scream, OMFG! No! My scar hurts! And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. I stopped. How did you know? I saw it, and my scar turned back into the lightning bolt. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diablo changed it into a pentagram for me and I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt, it turned back into the lightning bolt. Save me! Then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him bondage. Anyway, I was in the school nurse's office now, recovering from my slit wrist. Snap and Lupin and Hagrid were there too. They were going to St. Mango's after they recovered because they were pedophiles, and you can't have those fucking pervs teaching in a school with a lot of hot girls. Dumbledore had constipated the Cydio camera they took off me naked. I put up my middle finger at them. Anyway, Hagrid came into my hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses. Ebony, I need to tell you something, he said in a V-serious voice, giving me the roses. Fuck off, I told him. You know, I fucking hate the color pink anyway, and I don't like fucked up preps like you. I snapped. Hagrid had been mean to me before for being gothic. No, Ebony, Hagrid says, those are not roses. What? Are they goths too, you poser prep? I asked because I was angry that he had brought me pink roses. I saved your life, he yelled angrily. No, you didn't, I replied. You saved me from getting a Paris Hilton pee video made from your shower scene and being viewed by Snap and Lupin, who masturbated, see, is that spelled wrong? To it, he added silently. Whatever, I yelled angrily. He pointed his wand at the pink roses. Those aren't roses. He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, well, if you want honesty, that's all you had to say. That's not a spell. That's an MCR song, I corrected him wisely. I know, I was just warming up my vocal cordes. Then he screamed, Petulous Marengo me primilcly romancio. For all you cool gothic MCR fans out there, that is a tribute, especially for Raven, I love you girl. Emo noto okeo. And then the roses turned into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air. And it was black. Now I knew he wasn't a prep. Okay, I believe you now. WTF is Draco. Hagrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. You see, Enobi, Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame, to see what is in the films. Haha, you reviewers, flames, get it? You must find yourself first, K. I have found myself, okay, you mean old man, Hagrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked. I guess he didn't have a headache or else he would have said something back. Hagrid stormed off back into his bed. You are a liar, Prof. Dumbledore. Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs and put on a black leather mini dress that was all ripped on the ends with lace on it. There was some corset stuff on the front. Then I put on black fishnets and a black high-heeled boots with pictures of Billy Joe Armstrong on them. I put my hair all out around me so I looked like Samara from The Ring. If you don't know who she is, you're a prep, so fuck off. And I put on blood red lipstick, black eyeliner, and black lip gloss. You look kawaii, girl, Bull Uddy Mary said. Fangs, get it? You do too. I said sadly too, but I was still upset. I hurt both my wrists, feeling totally depressed, and I sucked all the blood. I cried again in my bathroom and put the shades on so Snap and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. I went to some classes. Vampire was in the hair of magical magic creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared, and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was sucking some blood from a Hufflepuff. Hi, he said in a depressed way. Hi back, I said in an easily sad way. We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had beautiful gothic red eyes, so much like Draco's. Then, we jumped on each other and started screwing each other. Stop it now! Stop it now, you dirty simpletons! Shouted Professor McGoggle, who was watching us, and so was everybody else. Vampire, you fucker, I said, slapping him. Stop trying to screw me, you know I loved Draco, I shouted, and then I ran away angrily. Just then he started to scream, OMFG! No! My scar hurts! And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diablo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always covered up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt, and then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him in bondage. Yes, this is a repetition. Special thanks to Raven, my Gothic's blood sister. WTF, you're supposed to writ this. 11111111. Hey Raven, do you know my sweater eye? This keeps getting spicier and spicier. Chapter 13. Author's note. Raven, thanks for gelping me again. I'm so sorry, talk your poster of Gerard, but that guy is such a fucking sex bomb. Prep, stop flaming. Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared. Dumbledore, we both yelled. Dumbledore came there. What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs? He asked angrily. Voldemort has Draco, we shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice. No, don't, we need to save Draco, we begged. No, he said meanly. I don't give a darn what Voldemort does to Draco. Not after how much he misbehaved in school, especially with you, Ebony, he said while he frowned looking at me. Besides, I never liked him that much anyway. Then he walked away. Vampire started crying. My Draco, he moaned. Author's note. Don't you fic guys are like so hot? It's okay, I tried to tell him, but that didn't stop him. He started to cry tears of blood. Then he had a brainstorm. I had an idea, he exclaimed. What? I asked him. You'll see, he said. He took out his wand and did a spell. Then, suddenly we were in Voldemort's lair. We ran in with our wands out just as we heard a croon voice say, "A la cadavra." It was Voldemort! Chapter 14. Author's note. Fuck off, preps, okay? Raven, thanks for helping me again. I'm sorry I couldn't update, but I was depressed, and I had to go to the hospital because I slipped my wrist. P.S. I'm not updating till you give me 10 god reviews. Warning, some of this chapter is extremely scary. Viewer excretion advised. Excretion advised. I love a good viewer excretion. We ran to where Voldemort was. It turned out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. Draco was there, crying tears of blood. Snaketail was torturing him. Vampire and I ran in front of Snaketail. Rid my sight, you despicable preps, he shouted as we started shooting him with the gun. He looked at me and he fell down with a lovey-dovey look in his eyes. Period, he said. In this, he is 16 years old, so he's not a pedophile, okay? Huh? I asked. Ennaby, I love you. Will you have sex with me? Asked Snaketail. I started laughing crudely. What the fuck? You torture my BF and then you expect me to fuck you? God, you are so fucked up, you fucking bastard, I said angrily. Then I stabbed him in the heart. Blood poured out of it like a fountain. No! He screamed. He started screaming and running around. Then he fell down and died. I burst into tears sadly. Snaketail, what art thou doing? Called Voldemort. Then he started coming. We could hear his high heels clacking to us. So we got on our broomsticks and we flew to Hogwarts. We went to my room. Vampire went away. There I started crying. What's wrong, honey? Asked Draco, taking off his clothes so we could screw. He had a sex pack. Get it? Cause he's so sexa? And a really huge you-know-what and everything. It's so unfair, I yielded. Why can't I just be ugly or plain, like all the other girls in preps here except for Bull Uddy Mary, because she's not ugly or anything. Why would you want to be ugly? I don't like the preps anyway. They are such fucking sluts, answered Draco. Yeah, but everyone is in love with me, like Snape and Lupin took a video of me naked. Hagrid says he's in love with me, Vampire likes me, and now even Snaketail is in love with me. I just want to be with you, okay, Draco? Why couldn't Satan have made me less beautiful? I shouted angrily. Author's note. Don't worry, Ennaby isn't a snob or anything, but a lot of people have told her she's pretty. I'm good at too many things. Why can't I just be normal? It's a fucking curse, I shouted, and then I ran away. Chapter 15. Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? BTW, you suck from no one. Every time someone flams me, I'm gonna slip my wrists. Thanks for Raven for flippin'. Ebony, shouted Draco sadly. No, please come back. But I was too mad. Whatever, now you can go and have sex with Vampire, I shouted. I stormed into my room and closed my black door with my blood red key. It had a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. He looked so sexy in a way that reminded me of Draco and Vampire. I started to cry and weep. I took a razor and started to slit my wrists. I drank the blood all depressed. Then I looked at my black Good Charlotte watch and noticed it was time to go to biology class. I put on a short, ripped black gothic dress that said anarchy on the front in blood red letters and was all ripped and put a spiky belt. Under that, I put on ripped black fishnets and boots that said Joel all over them with blood red letters. I put my ebony black hair out. Anyway, I went downstairs feeling all sad and depressed as usual. I did some advanced biology work. I was turning a bloody pentagram into a black guitar. Suddenly, the guitar turned into Draco. "Enemy, I love you," he shouted sadly. "I do not care what those fucker preps and posers think. You're the most beautiful girl in the world. Before I met you, I used to want to commit suicide all the time. Now I just want to fucking be with you. I fucking love you." Then he started to sing The Chronicles of Life and Death. We considered it our song because we fell in love when Joel was singing it, right in front of the entire class. His singing voice was so amazing and gothic and sexy, like a cross between Gerard, Joel, Chester Pierre, and Marilyn Manson. Author's note: don't you think those guys are so hot? If you do not know who they are, get the fuck out of here. "OMFG," I said after he was finished. Some fucking prep stared at us, but I just stuck up my middle fingers that were covered in black nail polish and were entwined with Dracos now. "I love you," I said, and then we started to kiss, just like Hilary Duff. I fucking hate that bitch. In CMM, Chad Michael Murray in a Cinderella story. Then we went away holding hands. Lupin shouted at us, but he stopped because everyone was clapping by how sexy we looked together. Then I saw a poster saying that MCR would have a concert in Hogsmeade right then. We looked at each other all shocked, and then we went together.